Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Tonight we're talking about the San Francisco 49ers. This team just keeps winning, alright? They keep winning. And I don't care what some analyst says, oh, the win against the Raiders was close. They gave up 34 to Jarrett Stidham, blah, 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 blah. A win is a win. And this team has a bunch of them in a row. 12-4. Alright, they're 12-4, man. They haven't lost in over 2 months. Their longest run given up on defense was 25 yards. Literally, 25 yards. So yes, not every win is going to be pretty. And Niners fans, I feel like, would agree with this statement. I'm glad the game went the way it did. A come-from-behind victory, an overlooked team, a game you're technically supposed to win. I'm glad it happened. Brock Purdy composed himself, he fixed his mistakes, he stopped forcing balls, and he did what he had to do. And he led this team to a victory. And the defense still stepped up when they had to step up in overtime. Alright, welcome back to the channel, man. If you're new here, be sure to hit that subscribe button. But as always, leave a like, drop your opinion on this Niners team down below in the comment section. If we could get this video to 250 likes, that would absolutely make my night. I also want to say really quickly, shout out to Damar Hamlin. Prayers are up. I don't want to comment too much on the situation because nobody really knows what's going on, but just prayers up, thoughts and prayers to not only Damar, but his family and his friends. All right, let's get into the video. So the just kind of speculation going around the league right now is all about, oh man, are the 49ers really legit? They almost lost to a 6-10 Raiders team on the road. I don't know. Their quote-unquote number one ranked defense gave up 365 passing yards to Jarrett Stidham, the backup quarterback who's never started a game, blah, 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 blah. I don't care, man. I really just truthfully don't care. A win is a win, as I alluded to earlier on in the video. And here's the thing, all right? Brock Purdy has not lost a game when starting. It just has not happened. He's made NFL history by doing so. And I get it. In the stat sheet, it's not always going to be pretty. That goes for every quarterback across the league. But Brock Purdy, 22 of 35, 284 yards, 2 touchdowns. There was that interception. Finished with a rating of 95.4. Man, I'm seeing come from behind wins. I'm seeing road wins against divisional opponents. So many people are downplaying that divisional win. And once again, I'm not alluding to Niners fans. I don't want to disrespect you guys at all. I'm just saying, people's knacks on San Francisco right now are that you almost lost to the Raiders and that the game against Seattle wasn't pretty. I don't need it to be pretty. If you're trying to sit here and tell me that no matter what team it is, and one of you commenters brought this up, every great defense, go back to the 85 Bears, go back to the Ravens at the start of the century. These teams had bad games defensively, and they were still the greatest defenses ever. So, stats don't do anything for me as far as almost losing a game. Like, what? That's not even a stat. It just doesn't, it simply doesn't matter. When I take a look at this San Francisco 49ers defense, if you really want to nitpick them and say, oh, they gave up 34. All right, well, I have a couple names for you. Fred Warner, Hufanga, Greenlaw, Jimmy Ward, Charvarius Ward, Eric Armstead, Tashawn Gibson Sr. Nick Bosa, obviously, the defensive player of the year. It's not even close. It's crazy. And I'm not one to comment on referees, but I will just say real quick, San Francisco was definitely getting held a lot in that game. Anyways, moving on. If you're trying to tell me that there will not be a playoff game for any team in the playoffs, no matter if it's this year, next year, last year, whatever, if you're trying to tell me a Super Bowl candidate is not going to have a game where they're coming from behind, it's just not, to me, it's just simply not a good take. You're going to go through adversity. Every team is going to face adversity. Maybe it's going to be in the fourth quarter. Maybe it's going to be in overtime. Maybe it's going to be in the first quarter. Maybe it's going to be in the second quarter. Whenever it is, each team is not going to be perfect. There's no such thing really as perfect, especially in football. There's going to be little errors, there's going to be big errors, there's going to be a bunch of errors, there's going to be a bunch of mistakes. To me, San Francisco has proven to me, regardless of what the actual statistical score is of a football game, they can win, and they can win when it matters. That's all this team has done. You can't go against their track record right now. They're just simply winning football games. And they're taking down good teams. They're taking down underrated squads. It's a rivalry game against the Raiders. All right? The week before, Washington, Seattle, Tampa Bay, all games Brock Purdy started. Those are good defenses. What's the consistent theme? All of those teams have good defenses. If you really want to go back to last Niners loss, it was on October 23rd. All right? Brock Purdy, the third string quarterback, comes into a game against the Miami Dolphins, who at the time were the Miami Dolphins, the red-hot Miami Dolphins, riding high. No issues about making the playoffs. There were no injury concerns. There was nothing. It was the Miami Dolphins are legit, but how legit are they? Brock Purdy comes in mid-game and just shuts them up. Routes him 33-17. Like F you. All right? The week after that. Yeah, all right. Brock had a good run, but teams didn't have much film on him. And, San Francisco's a good team. We get it. Blah, 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 blah. Excuse. Now you got to go up against Tom Brady, the best quarterback to ever exist. And take it from a Packers fan who adores Aaron Rodgers. And you play them, and you beat them, and it simply isn't even close. Like, honestly, the score was 35-7, which is a complete blowout. Everyone's going to agree it's a blowout. If you watch the game, it was like more than a blowout. It wasn't even simply close. At no point in the entirety of the game was it like, oh yeah, maybe Tampa Bay's got something here. No, they shut it off mid-game. In the third quarter, they were like, all right, America's game of the week. Nah, we're all set with that. We're going to go to a different game because that one's a blowout. Never seen that in my entire life. I'm only 23. I get it. I haven't lived a long life. I haven't watched as much football as some other people. I've never seen that before in my entire life. Seattle, road game, divisional game. Seattle's fighting for their life to stay afloat in the playoff hunt. I think at the time, actually, the division was like, it was still a long shot, but it was theoretically at hand. Wasn't pretty. Wasn't perfect, but what did they do? Oh, they won the game. Come back against Washington. What do? You start off a little bit slow. How do you finish? Red hot. Just complete and utter domination. Brilliant. So I don't care that you win in a shootout against the Raiders. It just doesn't matter to me. Brock Purdy is doing every single thing you want from him. Every single thing you want him to do, he is doing it. All right? And once again, Niners fans aren't worried about this. They're realizing this too. A win is a win, man. That's it. Hit that like button, hit that sub button, but most importantly, give me your thoughts on this Niners team. I'll see you guys later.